Hi guys, Ifiok here. Welcome to Ifiok Trades. And I did some little bit of work on the studio. What do you think? Looking good? Looking good to me. All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about ETFs. What are the ETFs that we have in the Nigerian stock market, and what do they represent? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. All right, so before we go into it, don't forget, as usual, follow me on TradingView, follow me on Twitter, and if you are interested in any of my offerings to support the work that I'm doing, you can click on here to take you to the offerings that I offer, the freeze and the paid for. All right, so let's just move straight into the ETFs. So what are ETFs even in the first instance? So they are exchange traded funds, and it's just a large word that means that it is a basket of, sometimes it could be a pool, or let's call it a basket of what could contain stocks, or it could contain commodities, or it could contain bonds. Okay, so that's just what it is in very simple terms. So let's give like an example of what we are looking at. This is called Vetiver Griffin 30 ETF. It is just a pool that tracks the best 30 stocks in Nigeria, and it just literally follows an index called the NGX 30, right? And so if the NGX 30 is going up, that too is going up, and that's what we have seen with that VetGriff 30, right? Vetiver Griffin 30 ETF. So it follows 30 of the best performing stocks, just as the NGX 30 also follows 30 performing stocks. So it's pretty good, right? And so the same thing with the Stanbic IBTC ETF 30. It also follows 30 of the best performing stocks in Nigeria, right? Then you now have the Vetiver Banking ETF, which is this one, and it follows 10 of the banks or the banking stocks in Nigeria, and this is what is represented by. Matter of fact, it's been going down since January. I also wonder how some of these ETFs, are they really tracking what they say they are tracking? But before we go into that, let's just keep going on with the different other ETFs. So you have this one called the Lotus Halal Equity ETF. So if you're a Muslim and you want to make sure that you are in an ETF that is in line with your religious beliefs, then this is the one to be interested in, right? Then there's the VSP Bond ETF, and just like the name, it's actually the Vetiver S&P Nigerian Sovereign Bond ETF. So it tracks the bond, the Nigerian bonds. This is the representation of how it tracks the Nigerian bonds, and you could see it was all the way up here, and look at where it is right now. All right, so there's the Vetiver Consumer Goods. This tracks consumer goods in Nigeria. Let's just keep going straight down. So there's the Vetiver Industrial ETF, and so it tracks the industrial goods in Nigeria, and it has been going down. So, but I'm a little concerned about some of these ETFs, right? I'll first of all show you what I did with Claude. So I asked Claude, based on the ETFs that we have, rank these ETFs based off of volume, right? Also rank it based on the investment opportunity that it has, and also rank it based off of, okay, I also already mentioned volume and its usefulness. Oh no, it's affiliation. So three things: it's volume, its usefulness for the investor, and then the last thing was its affiliation. So based off of those three things, it ranked this VetGriff 30 in health as 7. The Stanbic IBTC was ranked closely next to it at 6.5. Then this Vetiver Banking was ranked at 6. Then this Lotus Shell, that's Lotus Capital, was ranked at 6. And the VSP Bond Vetiver was ranked at 6. Every other one was ranked under 6. Right. The reason why I'm coming into that, I'm going to look at this Vetiver Consumer Good and the Vetiver Industrial Goods, right? I'm going to look at it based off of what we have in the index, because I wonder how these are actually being tracked, right? So if you're an ETF that is supposed to be tracking consumer goods, aren't you supposed to be tracking the index of the Nigerian stock market? If you're an ETF that is tracking industrial goods or consumer goods, industrial goods, you should be tracking the ETF or the index of that ETF. So what I mean invariably, just in case I have been just talking. So I have mentioned in my other video that there are different indexes that are tracking different variables in the Nigerian stock market. So like now, this is the index that tracks for banks, and we have been seeing the banking sector just going all the way up, and you can easily see it is actually tracking because banks have been doing pretty well, right? Then the oil and gas, it has been moving, at least some of the very good ones, Saplat, Aradel, Owando sometimes, has been moving up, and so we can see it has tracked that, right? And then the consumer goods, it has been moving all the way up also. This is an index that tracks it. So I really wonder what those ETFs are utilizing to track, like for instance, consumer goods and the industrial sector. So I'm really wondering, if you have that answer, also let me know. All right, so if you want also this in PDF, because what I did was I asked it to rank and also give me a breakdown of what it does. So if you want this, I can create a PDF. Just write ETF in the comment section, and I would send you this PDF free of charge. So based off of this, the ETFs you should be interested in investing in, if you're assuming you are interested, should be this 5: the VET GRIF 30, the Stanbic ETF 30, the VET Bank, the Lotus Shell or the Lotus Capital, and the VSP bond. Those are the ones you should be interested in if you're interested in ETFs. So I hope this was useful for you. If you're interested in ETFs, this is what they mean. They are tracking something, and sometimes what they could be tracking could be stocks, could be commodities, or it could just be bonds. Okay, so there's one that is interesting. There's another one that's interesting. This is supposed to be tracking physical gold price, new gold, right? It doesn't rank real highly, but I just thought to talk about it. There's this SIAM or the SIAML ETF 40. This actually tracks the pension index, and I think the very least, the worst, okay, I don't mean to say that, but of the performance based off of the metrics that I had given, these are the worst performing: the MER growth, the MER value, and the green ETF. If you even look at the charts, they look really horrendous. So if you look at this, look at how terribly it has dropped. Now, somebody can take a look at this and say this is an area of opportunity, because it has dropped like a 90% from its all-time high of a 1002 or 1003 all the way down to under 100. So over 90%. And look at this one also, the MER value, same thing, terrible drop all the way from February to right now. This is over 80% in minus, right? So it doesn't really clearly state what they are tracking, right? It just, if you look at this write-up, doesn't really state what exactly. It's hard to tell. Management growth and value tilted ETF, equity ETF, smaller issuer, and pricing is erratic across fields. So it's just not quite sure what this is tracking. If you have a better understanding of this, please also let me know. And then I think the worst of the performance based on those metrics is the green ETF. And if you look at the chart also, it just is okay, not so badly, to be honest. It hasn't done so badly. It has moved from this top of 1.8 all the way to, so just a 40% drop. So this are not to really be, I don't think I'll put my money in this one, but the first 5 I'll put my money in it. And this one also, matter of fact, this VSP bond ETF burnt a lot of people in January, and a lot of the reason why that happened was because there was a lot of manipulation of price, a lot of manipulation of liquidity in the books, and I pointed it out on my Twitter if you had seen that. But anyway, if you're looking for an ETF to buy, these are the first 5 at the best. And so I just thought to do this video so that just in case you're interested in ETFs, because there's a lot of mention of ETFs, foreign ETFs, we also have ETFs, and these are the 5 that are as seen as legit and what I most likely will put my money in. All right, so I hope you found this useful. If you did, let me know. If you liked also the new studio, also let me know. I will see you in the next video.